The friend of paper is the pen, but the friend of toilet paper is man himself. You're welcome to a fresh episode. Still on the still on the punch. We are on the back cover page. That's page 8. The back cover. Back cover. The first story is this murder case. Oh, this murder case. Almost 2 years after a most chilling murder in Kumasi, the intriguing case of 50-year-old Samuel Karikari, a businessman allegedly shot dead with, four, with a 410 single-barrel gun, still hangs in the balance. And the provisional charge of murder preferred against Abunifrafra, ninth watchman of Mr. Akwesi Prempe of Kumasi, appears to be resting comfortably in the deep freezer of public prosecutions. In the Punch issue of September 14 to 27, 1978, Mr. J.E.K. Akins, Director of Public Prosecutions, pointed out that even though the delay in the case could not be laid at the doorsteps of the Attorney General's department, efforts were being made to provide the flat to enable prosecution of the case. Yes, I think it's flat. But against the background of wagging tongues, whispering lips, the much publicized Kumasi murder case seems to be enjoying an easy, irritating holiday. Yes, it's an old paper, and some of the printing is erased. And maybe to my eyesight is also a contributing factor, but I think some of the letters are erased. Okay. Irritating holiday. And Magistrate J.B. Mensah, yes, I think it's Mensah. A Magistrate J.B. Mensah had to contend the facts adduced by police could not support murder charge. Lawyer K. Duranfodio, no, it's Durapodu. Lawyer K. Durapodu, as a result, had a comfortable field day. It will be recalled that on May 2nd, 1978, 50-year-old Samuel Kojo Karikari, alias Kojo Yamua, a Kumasi businessman, at about 5:45 p.m., called at the number 5 block H, West West Naya, West Nyasu, Kumasi, to see Mr. Kwesi Prempe, Managing Director of Handy and Paints Ghana Limited. I think it's Handy and Paints Ghana Limited. Yes. Oh, paragraph. The deceased, the disease was further alleged. The disease, it was further alleged, was seen loitering, around the around was seen loitering around and attempting to plant an object nearby. An object nearby suspected to be a bomb. Full stop. When he was challenged, the deceased allegedly took to the heels. Took to his, when he was challenged, yes, when he was challenged, the deceased allegedly took to his heels as attempts made to overpower him failed. Kojo Karkari, sensing danger, allegedly snatched. Uh, I'm sorry, I will ask for just a minute or two, please. Kojo Karkari, sensing danger, allegedly snatched an arrow from nearby, threatening to stab anyone who dared approach until a shot rang out and put an end to both life to both life to both life and proceedings. As an answer to unpleasant remorse and anxieties about the case, the Punch followed up and interviewed the Director of Public Prosecutions, who enlightened who enlightened this who enlightened the public on the I think it's technicalities. I think so. The paper is getting bad on the technicality, on the technicalities, needed to be fulfilled before the case officially resumes with a special charge. Pardon me, viewers. Oh. In his account, the DPP indicated that the normal procedure was for a detailed preliminary report to be submitted by the district police quarters to the regional headquarters, which in turn prepares a comprehensive docket on the case for onward transmission to the regional uh, principal state attorney, who finalizes it. Conversely, up to the time of going to the press, no meaningful and conspicuous attempts have been observed to be in favor of the proper prosecution of the matter. except that after protracted feet dragging, Awunifrafra is reported to be on bail. Much as it has been Much as it has been the belief of the Punch to fight for the triumph of tutorial justice, we do not want to commit contempt of court in subsequence, full stop. Or is it column? It was under this view of see justice done that we followed every step of the preliminaries preliminaries systematically until present day when the obvious is disappearing and ask again with seriousness what has happened to the Kumasi murder case. We publish below a letter written to the Punch by a relative of the issue, on the issue. We publish below a letter written to the Punch by a relative on the issue. You see here the picture of Awunifrafra. And that is Awunifrafra, ninth watchman of Akwesi Prempe, managing director of Handyman Paints and Brushes. Okay, the word I couldn't call well was handyman. It wasn't clear in the first sentence or in the earlier sentence. Okay, now we go to a letter. Letter from relative. Letter from relative. I was really surprised to read that the ninth watchman of the Kumasi murder case had been granted bail for lack of evidence. For lack of evidence to support the case. It is not enough that the man, into brackets, who by the way was my uncle, had been murdered cold-bloodedly. I remember this story, yes. Paragraph. Does the court really think that if anybody had any intention of planting a bomb, would he do it at the hour stated? Would he not wait until it was a little bit darker before making any attempt? Two questions in one. Where would he get a bomb from in the first place? Where would he get a bomb from in the first place? And I thought watchmen were only supposed to have a bow and arrow. To have a bow and arrow. What was the shotgun doing on the scene? So ready handy. What was the shotgun doing on the scene? So ready handy. Well, the whole bloody thing looks suspicious. A murder and a frame up. A murder and a frame up for wasn't the dead man a very good friend of Akwesi Prempe? The dead man had been going to the house with other friends, and they all knew the friendship that existed between Akwesi Prempe and the dead man. My uncle, into brackets, the dead man, had been very sick and had been taken to my hometown, Obogu, for curing and had returned to Kumasi on the 1st of May 1978 and stayed in the house all of that day. It was the following day, 2nd May 19, I think that's 19,8. I don't know, 1998. But what year was that? 1998. Okay, but here it's not 1998, but a comma. It was the following day, into bracket 2nd comma 19 stroke 8, when he had decided to go and collect all his money from the people who owed him, into brackets, for he was selling bags of rice on credit. Oh. He went with his wife, and by about 5:15 p.m. had collected an amount of 5,000 cedis, wrapped up in two wrapped up in a newspaper and put under the armpit. Yes, in those days we used to wrap money in newspapers. Wrapped up in a newspaper and put under the armpit. He gave some money to the wife to go to the market and do some shopping, and told her that it was getting late, and he wanted to go and see his friend Akwesi Prempe. So she should go and do the cooking, and he would be home around 7 p.m. They parted, and he left for Akwesi Prempe's house. What happened? What happened? Nobody. What happened? Nobody but the watchman and God know. And whether his story is true or not, and whether his story is true or not, again, only God knows. But eyewitnesses say that the man wasn't shot on the scene. He had run out of Kweku Prempe's grounds, getting all his wrists cut several times. Into brackets. How that happened, only the watchman and God know again. Could it be that they were knife wounds? Brackets close. To a house nearby, so he ran to a house nearby where a girl who is a seamstress living in that home said he asked her to give him some water, saying, Mama, saying, Mama me nsuo nom na onipa biara ebewu. Ansu na yɛdima ho, na yɛdima no, na yɛdwuma no. Only those who can understand she will know it. Let me try to read it again. Said what? Saying, seamstress leaving that house, said he asked her to give him some water, saying, Moma me nsuo nom. Moma me nsuo ɛnom na onipa biara ebewu ansuo na yɛdi ma no. I think it's give me some water to drink, and every man will die, but water is na nsuo na ɛyɛ dimo, and water is difficult for man, something like that. Pardon me, man, it's not clear. Okay, thief. The underpart is there. Thief. You see it in think print, far below my forefinger. Thief. When asked why he had said that, he was alleged to have replied that he was being chased and being called a thief. The girl went inside to get some water, and when she returned, he was gone, and she later learned that he had been shot. Oh, I think he went to collect his money from a creditor. Hmm. Maybe he was shot. I remember this story. Yes. Hmm. Uh, in fact, she was shocked. He went to get some water when he was shot. In fact, she was shocked and had reported the case to the police. Why did they say that he was a thief? I remember the story well. Why did they say that he was a thief and later he was sorry, why did they say that he was a thief and later changed the story and said that he had come to plant a bomb? Why couldn't they have shot him in the leg or in the arm to prevent him from doing anything? If he was out to do bad, if he was out to do bad, as they state, or did they want to silence him for good because of something he threatened to report? Did he get to know too much of what was really going on? I think that's the paragraph. I think that there's more to it than meets the eye. And as the saying goes, and as the saying goes, a funu differ. And as the saying goes, a funu differ. That is, the corpse is wrong. The corpse is always wrong. A funu differ. But what is the mother country turning into? But what is the mother country turning into? Is it going to be such that is it going to be as such that we can't even walk on the streets without being shot down by some menace who happens to have a shotgun around? By the way, where did the 5,000 cities get to? Oh, by the way, where did the 5,000 cities get to? It was never found. The police first said that they found 400 on him, and later they said that it was only 200. Well, I think it's up to the peacekeepers to look into the case seriously and come out with something much better than that. It's just unfortunate that the dead man doesn't have anybody to take up the case. They are all afraid that something terrible could happen to them too. Yours faithful, Nana Accra. Such is the world. Crime didn't begin today. It's been there for a long time. Uh, let's go to the next story. Let's go to another story. The place is perforated, but let's see. I think I interpreted the perforated place as those golden beds. It is here. Those DEN beds. Those DEN beds. You can see that it's perforated. But let's put the word golden there. Those golden beds. The whereabouts of the late President Nkrumah's, yes, gold bars. The whereabouts of the late President Nkrumah's gold bars continue to defy logic and solution as a recent search made of the made at his residence of the made at the residence of the late General Afrifa proved fruitless with regards to the recovery of the bars. On the contrary, however, the revelation that General Afrifa had three gold gold-plated beds worth worth several thousands worth several thousands of cedis alongside gold-plated swords enshrouds the mystery of the gold bar's feather in a shell of a riddle. In a shell of a riddle. Paragraph. It may be recalled that the former it may be recalled that the former head of states it may be recalled that the former head of state appearing before the Sower Assets Committee last March as the first hurdle towards politicizing his military background, and when confronted with a vital question by the Council of the Probe, denied knowledge of the golden bars. Okay. Paragraph. To exonerate himself further, General Afrifa, who at the time of the 66 coup was the was the was the operations commander, was candid that he went to the Flagstaff House in the company of General Kotoka to inspect the place after the successful pull of the punch. After the successful pull of the punch. Pardon me, viewers. It happens sometimes. Okay, paragraph. Paragraph. The gold bars, which were which were authoritatively the gold bars reported authoritatively reported to be the pride and strategic bait of the late Osagyefo, who was believed to have enticed foreign capital, foreign capitalists, foreign capitalist potentials to see the wisdom in the lofty program. Yes, in the lofty program for Africa and Ghana as a whole. Lofty program for Africa and Ghana as a whole uh, com- completely vanished from their storing places as soldiers invaded the Flagstaff House on the day of his overthrow. So you see the work of soldiers. When the soldiers went there, the gold bars vanished. Okay. On the day of the overthrow. Okay. In his submission, the late General Afrifa added that he could not be held accountable for the theft, yet he also acknowledged the probability that the gold bars may have been stolen by some of the troops whom he could not pinpoint. Yes. This word. Okay. We are not trying to play havoc. We are not trying to play havoc with the dead, but the late general's conclusive remarks before he left the probe appears quite prophetic and portentous. Appears quite prophetic and portentous. Then, in inverted commas, the someday the culprits will be found out all the same. So I believe the committee must not worry its head over it now, he said decisively. I think there's a little story in the middle here. Let's see it. Late Kojo Karakari, who was allegedly shot in 1978. Oh, this picture is about the first story of murder we, we read. So this is the picture of Kojo Karakari in the middle here. Yeah, that's the picture of Kojo Karakari. And let's see what's written under it. Superintendent discharged. The chief superintendent of police, Mr. Kobla Nyako, was discharged by an Accra Circuit Court on a charge of stealing an amount of 36,680 cedis on February 1st, 1979. He is with the fraud squad at the police headquarters. The prosecution pleaded not The prosecution pleaded for the adjournment of the case to enable state attorney to appear for prosecution. Full stop. Judge, however, refused and discharged him on grounds of lack of evidence. The trial judge, Mr. Justice Dove, explained that police could rearrest the accused after acquittal. Pardon me, viewers. These parts are not done, but the printing is, some of the printing is erased. So please bear with me. I think we finished with the punch. Yes, we finished with it. I don't have to think about it. We finished with the punch of we finished with the punch of number 49, Saturday, July 28th to August 9, 1979. Only the truth, but comment is free. Price 50 pesos. Thank you very much, viewers. Again, I apologize for my shortcomings in reading the paper. May God be with you all. Thank you very much.